Ladies and gentlemen, today is March 28th, 2014, and this is the KNKL show where we normally learn to be better artists, but on Friday we like to meditate beneath the bonsai tree. And today is Philosophy Friday, and today we're going to be talking about a book that I'm reading, which is called The Big Leap, How You Yourself Can Become Like This Goldfish and Jump from the Small Bowl into the Slightly Larger Bowl. And it's by Gay Hendricks, and I really like this book a lot. It's recommended to me by my Faja. And this book deals with a really cool issue called an upper limit problem, or an ULP. And I like to think of it as when the comic book character is scared or nervous, they say ULP, you know, like gulping, right? And basically the upper limit problem has to do with, have you ever just like achieved something super awesome, or you just drew this amazing picture and you just feel like so happy? Something good just like happens in your life. You get promoted at the job, you get a new job, or just something really good happens. And then very quickly after you have that good feeling, that feeling of happiness, you immediately start to feel this sense of worry, sense of nervousness about something dreadful happening, something really bad happening. Tell me that this has happened to you before. I have this happen so much. Like, this is like a constant thing that happens to me. And this is basically what the upper limit problem is. Basically, what's happening is after you do something, or whenever you experience something that makes you truly happy, just full of joy, just completely, utterly joyous, very quickly your body, your subconscious mind and your body have this way of saying, hey, this guy is feeling way too happy. We need to kind of like bring him back down to earth, right? And they'll just like yank you down from the clouds. And the reason why your body and your subconscious mind does that is because that is its zone of comfort. It's used to having this steady mix. And I've even talked about this before, of like this wave of emotion. Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. And I felt for a long time that this was a normal way to feel. When in actuality, normally, there's always going to be like down moments and up moments, right, in your life, right? There's going to be that pattern that's happening. But just because there's that pattern of so-called events that are happening, things that are easier to perceive as positive than negative, doesn't mean that you can't always feel positive. Just because something bad is happening, it doesn't mean that you can't look at it a certain way and still dig, you know, what is the diamond in the rough, right? What is the positive emotion or the learning experience that you're supposed to get from this? And so lately, you know, here's what I want to talk about, really. The reason that I've been gone for a little while, I'm going to get right into it, is because I've recently found out, like, I've been trying to run from it for so long, right? And basically what's happened to me is I have slowly begun to realize that I can provide for myself and I can make a living by doing exactly what I want to do. Like having all of the freedom to create exactly what I want to create, tell a story, make some freaking characters out of my head, right? Make some characters, make a comic book about them. And people have stepped up, you guys have stepped up, and you have allowed me to start doing that for a living. For me to be able to provide for myself. I can live here. This is my apartment. This is my place. And it's paid for by this thing that I made. And then I'm going to these conventions now, and I'm selling prints, and I'm meeting people, and I'm networking, and I'm building a business. And I can't tell you guys how freaking scary that is. It's one of the scariest things to realize that you can basically go against the tide. You can go against the tide. You can say, no, I want to do what I believe I was put on this earth to do. Even if it's something as simple and as silly as entertaining people by drawing pictures. Right? That's what I really believe one of my major purposes is to provide enjoyment, to provide inspiration. I love being able to talk to you guys on these videos. And it's just all been culminating to this huge just like ball of like massive joy, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've done it. I've made this. I've made it. And then very quickly, my body says to me, well, wait a minute. Why do you deserve to feel that way? Why do you deserve to be happy? Why do you deserve to achieve success for believing in yourself? You don't deserve that. You're not. You're fundamentally flawed. There's so many things that are wrong with you. There's so many things that are sick and twisted and stupid about you, right? You're not a perfect person. You don't deserve to feel that way. And these things are happening in my head, and very quickly. And this happens to everybody. This happens to everybody. And this is where self-sabotage comes from. This is where your mind kicks in, and it's like, you don't deserve to feel happy all the time. You don't deserve to feel this. And even while you are accomplishing your dreams, even while you are doing exactly what you want to do, you will constantly have these weird, it's almost like habitual longings, or like for instance, I'll be working on the comic, right? I'm like, oh man, that was such an awesome page. The latest page that just came out, I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. I didn't know how the heck I was going to do it, but I did it, right? And it came out great. And then very quickly, I had this feeling. It's like, oh, now that's out of the way. Now I can go play some video games. Now I can go play some The Last of Us, which is a great game, by the way. But the interesting thing about that is that whenever I play certain games that are very competitive, such as the multiplayer on Last of Us, there's a very high chance that I'm going to get very angry. There's a very high chance that I'm going to experience some negative emotion. And my body it's almost like it's wanting that, because I'm feeling all this happiness over here, and it wants to kind of cram this anger and negativity back into it, so that way I can center myself right back where I'm comfortable. Even though I'm not as happy as before. I'm not as happy as I was before, but at least I'm comfortable, right? Because this is where I am. And a lot of people have different mixtures of positive and negative emotions, if you want to think about it that way. And I really think that a lot of people kind of hover around this 50-50, right? Some people are even lower, right? They're way down here. It's maybe 10 and 90. But the point is that whenever your body, whenever your life experience starts to become more positive, right? When you start to kind of overtake that negativity with more positivity, your body will want so badly. It'll want so badly to put you into situations that will cause you negative emotions, such as getting angry with someone, starting an argument, playing a game that makes you angry, just falling back on some sort of addiction that you're not happy with yourself about, right? It's just all these things. I mean, I really think that this is a fundamental thing of why people do these things. It's because they just don't believe that they're allowed to be happy all the time. They really don't. They really don't. And lately, after reading this book, basically it says it is perfectly fine to be happy all the time. And it's a choice that you have the right to make. Nobody else can control how happy you feel. And to be honest, nobody really cares about how happy you feel. So why not just choose to be happy? So anyway, okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk to you guys about. The reason why I've been gone for so long is because, I think it's, to be honest, it's a good thing. It gave me a chance to just really kind of figure things out. It really gave me a chance to figure out what my main priorities were and where I'm spending my time. Where I'm spending my time, what I'm doing, or what am I doing, and am I prioritizing things right? Are my priorities in order? And you know what I found out? My priorities were totally out of order. My priorities were so jacked up. My priorities were literally backwards. Okay? And we don't need to go into a huge deal of what all my priorities were, but my number one priority should have been Emma. It should have been my comic. But you know what? It wasn't. My number one priority was worrying about stuff. I was worrying about where I was going to get the money to pay for this place, right? When I've always made it. And to be honest, I have money. I have money to make things work. I don't have freaking billions of dollars, but I have enough to make it work. And it's why should I be complaining when this whole time I've always had enough, you know? It's always been enough. What you guys have given me is enough. Just the fact that you've read my comic and told your friends about it is enough. And it always would have been. But anyway, I have more than enough. So moving on. The next thing that I want to talk about is this whole thing about just going back to the whole thing about when you find out that you can provide for yourself, and that when you really believe in yourself and do what you believe you're supposed to do, it's almost like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you become successfully financially off of it. That's just one way to be successful. And to be honest, it falls right in line with all those other things. In fact, I think it takes a backseat to being successful in a emotional state, right? If you do what you love and you were just happy with yourself, if you just end of the day and you're like, I did exactly what I was made to do, right? And I was free. I was free. Like, that's one of the most important things for me. And what the heck just happened? Okay. Sorry, I'm getting used to this new computer. Okay, it just tried to go to sleep on me. It just the whole screen just went black. But anyway, when you do that, it goes against a common saying, and that saying is life is hard. Life is meant to be hard, and that to make it through, you just gotta get a job. You gotta just get by. You gotta take what you can get, right? Screw the other guy over if you can get on him, step on his shoulders, like pound him into the dirt. Forget about him. It's all about you, right? You just make sure you're good, and then don't worry about anybody else. But really, once you start to realize that, hey, maybe life isn't hard. Maybe doing what I believe I'm supposed to do, that's easy. Me making the comic and telling a story, that's easy. But you want to know what the hard part is? You know what the really hard part of life is? Is believing that you can do it. Believing that what everybody has told you up till now, and all of your life experiences told you up till now, might be wrong. That's the hard part. The hard part is believing in yourself. The hard part is looking at everybody else and being like, whoa, nobody else is doing this. Everybody else is just playing it safe in life. Everybody else is just doing what they can. Everybody's doing what they think is the right thing to do. Or they're going to school to get this degree because it makes this amount of money. And that's what they want. They're doing it for the money, right? And money is important, don't get me wrong. Money is very, very important because it allows you to live, right? And I love, it's a funny tangent, but people say, money can't buy happiness. But, money has created a lot more happiness than poverty ever has, So I do believe that money is important. But the other thing that I've realized is that you really, when you get down to it, especially for a guy like me, like, you don't need a lot. You really don't need a lot of money to just get a place, get some food. You're not going to be eating, you're not going out to Red Lobster and eating dinner there every night, which is good because I really don't like Red Lobster. But you know what I'm saying? You're not going out eating these gourmet meals every day. You're going out, you're eating freaking spaghetti, you're eating beans, you're making your own food, And it's like, you don't need a lot of money to get a place, to get some clothes, and to eat, right? And get a computer and a tablet, right? And then just, work. And it's really funny. It's almost like this fun challenge. It's a fun challenge of working and living within restricted limits. But the payoff is so much more than, that's really what money can't buy. The money can't buy the satisfaction that I get from sitting down, like waking up in the morning, looking out my window and be like, man, it's a nice day. And I'm just waking up because there's no alarm. No alarm went off. Nothing's startling me awake. I don't have to be any place at any time. Or my boss is like sitting there looking at his watch, be like, you're 30 seconds late, right? I think you need to learn how to respect people's time, right? Like they did when I was working at Buckle at the mall selling jeans, right? That was probably one of my favorite jobs ever. Not really. But I wake up, I just look out and I'm like, man, it's a nice day. And then I get up, and then I just sit down, and I'm like, let's do this. Let's make this comic. And oftentimes, I say it like it's this grandiose, like perfect scheme. Really, that's not what it is. On a good day, that's what it is. But really, what's happening in my mind is I'm getting up and I'm like, man, it's a nice day. It's time to sit down and make a comic. And then my mind is immediately like, oh, what if this page sucks? You've never drawn a scene like this before. What makes you think that you can do this? What if it sucks really bad and everybody hates it, everybody hates you, they stop watching your show, they tell everybody to stop reading your comic, and everybody stops paying on the Patreon, everybody stops supporting you, and then you have to go back and work at the mall again, sell jeans. Yeah? That's what's happening in my mind, right? All these fears, right? All these fears. And this is something that I thought for a long time that fear was a bad thing. I thought that fear was a really, really bad thing. But another thing that this book talks about is that fear is something that is always going to be present in your life. There's nothing wrong with it. But in fact, what it is something that it needs to be used. It's almost like raw material that can be used to fuel you. So instead of feeling this fear and being like, ooh, that's bad, oh, no, get out of my mind, no, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about everything failing. I can do this, right? Just like kind of pumping yourself up, but it's still kind of like there. You're just kind of like tricking yourself or becoming deluded. Instead, what this book talks about is feel that fear. Like, just feel it. And I've talked about this before. It's like these emotions. Like, like humans are emotional creatures, and they are meant to feel emotions. We are meant to feel anger. We are meant to express our happiness. We're meant to express our anger and fear and all those things. We're not meant to hold them back. Because have you ever noticed that when you do hold them back, they still find a way of coming out? You know, you're going to be like, you know, really passive aggressive to somebody, you know, who doesn't deserve it, or you'll snap at one of your friends that just says something at the wrong time. And those emotions, they always come out. They will always come out. And unless you express them, they will always come out at an inopportune time. So what I always say is that feel free to express them. I get angry, I chuck pillows at the wall, okay? And ideally you want to do things that doesn't obviously hurt you or hurt others. There's proper ways to do it. In fact, we just got one of those freaking things that, like, I'm sure you've seen it. They hook on the door and you can do pull-ups on them. I forget what they're called, home gyms or door gyms or something. And whenever I'm really angry, I just go up and I just like grab those things and I like do like pull-ups as hard as I can. Like, and it looks stupid and it looks silly, but it's really funny. You just like get that energy out. You just like feel that anger, right? And then you're like, oh man, oh that was good. That was really good. And it's healthy because I guess you're building your body. But anyway, okay, so like feel that fear. And what happens is after you feel that fear, you'll notice that it really doesn't have that much control. It doesn't have that much power. Fear doesn't have that much power once you finally decide to feel it. You almost want to like play a game yourself and like see how scared you can actually get. See how scared you can get. Like I'll sit down and be like, oh man, I'm so scared. I've never drawn this type of scene before. I've never drawn the characters in this type of pose before. I've never drawn, like in the last page, I've never drawn a character looking into the mirror and then from the mirror is another scene completely and the character's changed and they're different clothes and then you got this whole other frame with a mirror around it and the characters are in there. It's like, I've never done that before and I might fail. I might fail. But I just feel that. And then very quickly, I notice that it just turns to, all right, well, it's there. The fear's there. And now I have an option. I have the option to choose to go ahead and do it anyway, which is a much easier decision after you finally decide to feel the fear. Or, again, it seems like it's so much easier to distract yourself when you don't feel it, when you don't feel the fear, when you run from it, when you give it power. When you give it power and you run from it. But, yeah, like I said, I really think that you guys should just feel those things. Feel those things and take like a deep breath and just decide that you're going to do it anyway. Because that's what I've been doing over these last few days. And those are basically your ULPs, your upper limit problems. Fear and distraction and just wanting to, because I always feel these things whenever I'm getting ready to sit down to make a page. Whenever, you know, I was even thinking about doing a video. You know, I've been gone for so long and I'm like, oh man, like people aren't going to care. People aren't going to want to watch this video. You know, and the last one had like these stupid poppy sounds in it. It's like, maybe I just suck. Maybe I should just stop doing this. You know, those are the upper limit problems, like attacking me head on because I'm experiencing all of this extra happiness in my life. All of this just prove to me. Just prove to me that I've done it. And I've done it from the beginning, from the time that I took the first step and started making this comic. I was a success because I was doing exactly what I believed I was supposed to do. And now the emotional success is now joining with financial success to the point where I can take care of myself by doing exactly what I want to do. And that's really, really freaking scary. It's so scary. But another thing that I want you guys to understand is that when this happens to you, you have to tell yourself, I deserve it. I really do. I deserve it because I'm the one that decided to believe in myself. I'm the one that decided to do this. I told myself that this isn't over until the story's finished, until it's done. And it doesn't matter if anybody else reads it. The only thing that matters is that it's done and I get to read it. And my phone keeps vibrating. I don't know why. Freaking all these new things. I don't know what's going on. So, anyway, I just wanted to leave that with you guys. Summing it all up, upper limit problems, basically those things that come in. Get this book because it's freaking awesome. The upper limit problems are those things that come in whenever you're feeling really happy, that just kind of beat you back into submission, right? That just take you back to where you were because you're nice and comfortable there, even though you're not as happy. You're nice and comfortable there. And really, I want you guys to ask yourself, if you're not doing what you really believe you're supposed to be doing right now with your art or with your expression or with your creativity, then ask yourself seriously when you're going to do that. Because if you keep saying, oh, someday, 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 those years are going to pass. That time is going to pass. And you're going to get to the end of your life. And then that idea, whatever you were supposed to bring to the world, is going to be staring you dead in the face. And it's going to be asking you, why didn't you make me? Why didn't you bring me to the world? I came to you. I came to you. You were the only one that could have given me life. And now I'm going to die with you forever. So really think about that. Really think about that. What is that thing that you're supposed to do? And I want to challenge you guys to make a plan to start doing that. Just like I've done. Just like I've done. And yeah. Just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys very much for just understanding everything that's been going on. I'm still going to keep making videos. I might only release, I want to at least do once a week. You know, just whether it's a tutorial or just like a behind the scenes thing with Emma. But know that I'm constantly just like thinking about how I can expand and improve and all this stuff. And I'm not going away. I'm not going to stop making videos. Even if it has like stupid clicky poppy sounds in it or whatever. I'll get all that stuff figured out. There's just a bunch of changes that are happening right now. And I'm just getting all those things aligned. But yeah. And really another great thing that having this break made me realize is that I need to remember that I'm doing this show and I'm making this comic for myself. I'm doing it for myself. As much as I love that it inspires you guys and helps you guys out there, I'm doing this because it's expanding me. It's teaching me more about how to speak publicly. It's teaching me how to get these ideas across in a more simplistic or just ways that people can get them. Taking maybe advanced concepts and simplifying them, so that way someone who's learning or at the beginning stage can grasp them. So yeah, I mean that's really what this is about, and I feel like that's now what I'm getting back into. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make this comic. I'm gonna make this page because I want to see it. I'm gonna make this video because I want to talk about this stuff. I'm gonna do this tutorial because this is what I was doing anyway. You know, and all that good stuff. But I can definitely tell I'm a little bit rusty, a little bit out of practice, but I'll get it as I keep coming back into it, as I keep making these. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about stuff because, you know, we'll let my actions speak for me, right? Let my actions speak for me. So anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Until next time, take care.